Journaling is one of the most powerful tools you have to figuring out your life, your career, big decision, or get more fulfillment out of your life. And if you hate journaling, you're probably doing it wrong. At least I was. Let me show you why. Hey, it's Kevin. Growing up, I tried journaling, but I used to hate it until I stumbled into a couple realizations that changed everything and made it into one of my favorite secret weapons to get me through just about anything. Make sure to watch to the end because the last one is perhaps the one that changed my life the most. Mistake number 1, writing to record your life. If you're journaling just to record your past, instead of working on you to grow toward a better future, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Over the years, I've tried journaling so many times and it never stuck. And that was because I was journaling to record my life. Until one day after college when I was super lost and confused, so out of pure necessity, I picked up the closest notebook that I could find and started dumping my thoughts into it. And that's when I really started to realize the value in journaling. But caveat here, I have nothing against you logging your day. That's totally fine. But just be clear to yourself to know why you're actually journaling. Is it for enjoyment or to really bring your life to that next level? Journaling is often more about the exercise itself than the end product of what ends up on that page. Mistake number 2, writing to make it look good. Instead, you should write with the intention of never reading it again. Make a mess. By censoring yourself to only write perfect sentences without having to cross things out, you're robbing yourself of the chance to work on your ideas and scratch things up and figure out really what you're thinking. Your journal is your workbench to dissect, understand, and improve your thoughts to come to better decisions. You know what? When I journal now, I have so many thoughts flying down onto the page. I can't even read half the time what I wrote. But you know what? That's okay. Sure, messy handwriting means I'm gonna miss out on maybe reading this again when I'm 80 years old. But I know I'm lazy and I would never do this entire exercise if I had to do it nice and slow and pretty and really, really perfect. I would so much rather become someone that I'm so proud of than have some little notebook with nice handwriting in it. Mistake number 3, framing it as a chore. Journaling feels like homework sometimes, but it shouldn't be. Don't journal because you feel like you should. Journal because you need to, and you can't not journal. The best way I can explain that is journaling is like emergency diarrhea. When you gotta go, you gotta go. You're not thinking, let me schedule on my calendar. No, you're just like, I gotta go. But a caveat real quick. This only works once you've experienced how good journaling can actually be. And the best way to have that experience is to sit down and journal just one sentence every single day. And if you feel like writing more, go ahead. You have that space to do that. And if not, that's fine. Give it some time. And pretty soon you're gonna start experiencing how good it feels to get your thoughts out of your head and onto paper. Mistake number 4, using the wrong tools. You got physical journals, laptops, phone, type it up, voice memos, speech to text. There's so many ways to journal and there's pros and cons to each. So be intentional about picking the right tool for the job. For instance, journaling by hand is slower, but sometimes that's kind of the point. It forces you to process your thoughts as you're putting them down, so you can actually start to figure out what you actually think. Also, because it's slower, your brain has a steady stream of output. When I journal by hand, I feel like my thoughts are coming out at just the right speed that I don't ever get stuck. On the other hand, when I type or leave a voice memo, my thoughts dump out so fast that I have to stop every couple seconds to figure out what I'm gonna say next. And that's really distracting for me and it constantly gets me stuck. Journaling by hand is also more tactile. Getting my thoughts down in the real world gives my brain a sense of peace, knowing that it can let those thoughts go and finally move forward. On the other hand, typing, speech to text, or leaving a voice memo is a lot faster and is always with you, so it's great for spontaneous thought capture. And it's searchable too. And mistake number 5, not being your honest, genuine self. This one is probably the most important of them all. You have to be fully yourself and fully honest when you journal, or it won't work. You can't know yourself if it's not the real you in the mirror. And you can't work on yourself if it's not the real you on the operating table. That's why therapists and counselors have these confidentiality policies. If you journal in fear of someone finding and reading your journal, you'll never be able to do the deep soul searching to work on yourself, because you'll censor yourself before the real you ever gets to make it onto the page. And ironically, it's these parts of us that need journaling the most. But let's be honest, this part is hard. We all have our inner demons that make us feel like we're the only unlovable person on the planet. And that just isn't true. So if the only way you're gonna be able to put your real self on paper is if you shred or burn it after you write it, by all means do what you gotta do. But of course, be safe. Don't do anything stupid. I'm not liable for anything. It takes a very brave person to be honest about oneself. And no one has this confidence from day one either. Take small steps and be proud of the small wins. And pretty soon it'll snowball, and one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. So quick recap. 1, journal to grow toward your future and not to log your past. Number 2, don't be afraid to get messy. Write as if you're never gonna read it again. Number 3, journal because you need to, not because you feel like you should. Journaling is like pooping, just remember that. Number 4, pick the right tools. And number 5, be your honest, genuine self. I really hope you guys found this helpful, because that was something that I wish I could have gone and told my younger self. And to all my fellow journal nerds out there, go ahead and send this video to that one friend that we all have that no matter how much we convince them, will never ever start journaling. I actually made this video with a couple of those friends in mind. So yeah, speaking of journaling and personal growth, it's been a crazy couple months since I quit my job and gave myself a year trying to make content that helps all of us grow into the heroes that I believe we all have inside of us. And it's honestly been an adventure that's taught me so many interesting things. Taking voice lessons with Roger Love, Hollywood's voice coach, to pitching Richard Branson on his private island. All of those videos you'll find right here. And I would love to have you join me on this adventure. So please consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification icon so you don't miss a single video. Here's to adventure, journaling, growth, and all that good stuff. I'm tired, I want to get food.